welcome to Vinyasa yoga today. I'm going to do a bit of a shorter session for today's yoga, and we're going to start in cat-cows. So we're going to place our hands in front of us, shoulder width apart, knees are underneath your hips, taking a nice deep inhale. Feel your lungs expand, feel your ribcage move, and then from here you're exhaling, and come back nice and gently, nice and slowly, trying to move each vertebrae one by one, really focusing on your tailbone, lower part of your spine. Bring your hips all the way back to your heels. Shoulders are over your wrists. Bring your head up towards the sky in our case, or the ceiling, and your tailbone comes up. So really try and open out your throat. Take your shoulders away from your ears. Open out your rib cage. And then exhale, slowly coming all the way back, little by little. Hips slowly lowering towards your heels, creating space in between your spine and your hip bones. Take a nice deep inhale. Feel your rib cage widen. Looking to open out the lower rib cage, and as I exhale, looking to round out through my lower back, through my spine, tucking my head under. Into a tabletop position. Hands are going to come nice and far forwards. We're going to press into child's pose, relaxing down onto the mat. Your forehead comes onto the mat. Trying to round out through your lower spine. Pressing your tailbone tuck under. Your ribs on your thighs. As you inhale, feel the rib cage expand. Taking another deep inhale, broaden your shoulders away from your spine. Exhale. Let your shoulders walk back. As you move at space in between your shoulders, where there may not have been space before. Take your hands nice and wide of your mat, so your hands are off your mat in a Y shape. Your hands sink maybe a little bit deeper with your chest. Don't push anything or force anything. You're literally trying to make your body feel really good about itself. bit if they feel uncomfortable in the position that they're in. Or maybe you feel like you can get more out of this by moving your hands wider, narrower. Okay. Gently bring your hands all the way back to the front of the feet. You're going to roll through your spine, gently tucking your tailbone under first. Then you're going to round out your lower back. And then we're slowly rounding out, lifting up with your hips into your rib cage. And then from here, letting the hips fall forwards, letting your lower back curve upwards, letting your rib cage open into what is essentially an up dog. Be very gentle, any pinching in your lower back, that's not what we're looking for. Exhaling, gently bringing the hips back into tabletop position. Place your hands underneath your shoulders. Now draw your shoulder blades apart and lift your spine above your shoulder blades. So you can feel that tension and pressure pulling outwards. And then relax your shoulder blades together. We're going to work into the shoulder blades here. You're going to exhale, draw your shoulder blades apart. Draw your spine up above your shoulders. Draw your skull into the back of your head, or the head into the back of the skull. And then exhale, gently and very slowly relax and soften. Inhaling, drawing your shoulders all the way apart. Drawing your spine up above your shoulders. Your head comes into the back of your skull, and you should feel a little bit of tension here in your hands. You feel like, almost like there's a little bit of light weightedness here as your shoulders start working instead of your wrists. And then gently relaxing your shoulders out. Inhaling, drawing your spine all the way up above your shoulders. Right hand now sweeps all the way up overhead, pointing that right hand up towards the ceiling, rotating your spine, still drawing your shoulder blade away from the spine at this point, creating space. And then exhaling, taking your right hand and threading it underneath you between your left hand and your thigh. If you want to come into the bind, you can do, if that's available to you. Your left hand sweeps all the way up overhead, and you can either put your hand onto your spine, or you can put your left hand onto your right thigh. It's coming behind your body as you open out your left shoulder. I'm smiling because my sister's actually in the corner there and she's doing the yoga with me, and I'm just trying to give her a few hints of what I'm trying to do because she's facing away from me. So I obviously wasn't getting that quite right. So if you've done yoga with me before, you know that I like to shift my weight onto my right hip, through my right knee, press my right shoulder into the ground, and then you can lift your left leg up and point it up towards the ceiling. Takes a little bit of balance. And really squeeze your left glute and point the toe. Okay, point the toe up towards the ceiling. And then gently lower that leg nice and slowly all the way back down to the mat. Draw the knee in towards your chest. From here, take your left hand out of the wrap onto your mat and come back into a tabletop position. We're going to release the shoulders out. That can be a little bit tight for the shoulders. So take your hands nice and wide of your mat here, and we're going to gently roll all the way through your spine, bowing your head down. Getting a nice stretch into the pec. So these are a little bit of opposites here, a bit yin and yang. We're trying to front of the chest here. In the previous one, that was actually working the front of the chest a little bit. And keep breathing, keep feeling for your ribs. Inhaling, growing nice and wide. And then exhaling, becoming small. And if you worked with the banders before, you can start thinking about drawing in as you inhale with your belly button towards your spine, and drawing upwards with your pelvic floor up into a place that sits just slightly lower than your rib cage at the front. Gently coming back out of our lovely Y-shaped child's pose. Hands come underneath your shoulders. From here, you're going to inhale, right arm sweeps all the way up towards the ceiling. Already done that side. Left arm sweeps all the way up towards the ceiling. Anyone who's done yoga with me knows that I have a preference for my right hand side. Everyone knows that. So from here, you're then going to draw that left arm underneath you. My sister's laughing at me now because I've made 2 mistakes in this appointment. It is what it is. I'm not aiming for perfection. So if you want to from here, make sure you press your left shoulder into the ground. Press your left hand into the ground. That's going to support the base. Now the right hand sweeps all the way up behind you and either comes onto your spine, or you can loop it onto the inside of your left thigh, and you try to grab hold of almost the inside of the left thigh. From here, shift your weight onto your left leg, keep pressing through your left shoulder. Now you're going to try and squeeze your right bum cheek and lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. Keep pointing the toe up towards the ceiling. We're not looking for flex foot here, we're trying to work the whole of the back of your body. Gently lowering your foot all the way down and then drawing your knee back in towards the chest. Cool the eccentric flows. It helps strengthen the body. Right hand comes back onto your mat. Press back into a tabletop position and come into that lovely Y, or if you want to do an I-shaped child's pose, whatever works for you. Breathing here, the focus is always on the breath. So if anything gets too intense for you and your body says no, listen to it. Get into a position that feels more comfortable. Inhaling, rounding through the whole of your spine. We're going to do that nice cat-cow into up dog. So rolling through every single segment of your spine. Letting the hips drop down. We're now coming into the opposite. This is the yin and the yang. Lifting through your rib cage, opening out the front of your neck. Shoulders come away from your ears. Crown of the head comes up towards the ceiling. The front of your neck. Now from here, you're going to lift your feet up and point them towards the sky. Oh, crab. Both legs crab. Okay, well we're going to see if that passes. So we've got a little bit of crab going on here. And it is passing. And then we're going to exhale, gently come all the way back. Tuck your toes under. Hands are slightly wider than shoulder width apart. And we're going to push into downward facing dog. The first downward facing dog of the day. Again, these are a bit of a yin and yang. I've just strengthened my hamstrings. And now I am looking to lengthen them. And my sister's just reminded me it's quite nice to paddle out your feet at this point in time. So bend one knee and take the other heel down towards your mats. And then bend the other knee and the opposite heel down towards the mat. And we're not looking for the heel to be flat on the mats. That's not the purpose of this pose. We're trying to create a hinge at your hips
hinge that really is the important point of this pose. If your hamstrings feel tight, this pose is not going to help. They will always feel a little bit tight. I could actually hang out here all day long. However, we have yoga to be done. So, right foot steps forwards to the outside of your right hand. Left knee drops in. And down to the mat. Left foot comes all the way up towards the ceiling. Oh, I'm getting really bad cramp in my left hamstring. That would be the run that we did. From here, right hand comes all the way up towards the ceiling, and then you're going to grab your left foot with your right hand. Lift through your hips, plant your big toe down, and draw through the inside of your foot. Draw that foot all the way up with the inside of your arch. Try not to grip with the outside of your foot. Really loosening out the left hip. Loosening out your right shoulder. From here, lowering your left foot all the way back down again. Right hand comes down onto the mat. Stepping back with your right foot. Stepping forwards with your left foot. Right knee draws down towards the ground. Plant your left foot, get it nice and stable. Right foot points up towards the ceiling. Feel that nice cramp going on. Left arm sweeps all the way up, make it a nice big circle. And then from here you're going to hold on to your my sister's now got cramp. Your right leg. We're trying to draw upwards with the hips. If you're struggling with the foot coming upwards and it's causing you a little bit of cramp, don't do quite so much on the lift. So just gently, gently, gently lift. And then see if you can grab hold of the foot. If you can't, it's a nice to have, but it's not essential. The twist in itself is beautiful. And again, beautiful stretch over the front of the leg. Relaxing your right foot all the way back down again. Hands come underneath your shoulders. Remember, press your shoulder blades apart. Spine comes above your shoulders. And you're going to step back into a high plank position. Knees come down. Chest comes all the way down onto the ground. Forearms come forwards. You're going to press your forearms into the mat. Untuck your toes and point your feet backwards. Squeeze your legs. Really work your legs in this position. Start to feel like you're opening your rib cage from rib 12 all the way up to rib 6. And if you don't know where rib 6 is, if you're wearing a bra, it's just about where your bra strap is. If you're not, it's halfway up your chest. It's just below your nipples. Your nipples, incidentally, are about where rib 4 is. So you're thinking about 2 spaces below is rib 6. And this opens out the bottom of your rib cage. Oh, it feels really good. So from here, you're going to lift your right foot all the way up. Right hand comes across your chest and is parallel with the front of your mat. Left hand sweeps all the way up overhead. You're going to hold on to your foot and then you're going to try and bring that foot all the way in towards your bum. And you stretch over the front of your right hip, opening out your left chest and looking over your left shoulder. And make sure you include the big toe. Big toe, it's got an extensor. It's really important. If you wear high heels, this will feel delicious. And then relaxing that foot all the way out. We're going to push into child's pose to release your spine. Hands either side of your chest, gently pushing into your hands, rolling your spine. Oh, there we go. That's what I need. Is it all the way backwards? Again, if you've got any shoulder injuries or anything where your shoulders feel like they're pinching, take the hands nice and wide. Don't put too much pressure in. If you're happy being in an I shape, straight up your mat, you can do that as well. So just relaxing, releasing through your lower back into your side foot. And breathing. if you want to work this, you can do. You put a little bit of pressure into your hands, and you try and push a little bit more into your hands and around through your lower back, and you're drawing your arms towards the front of the mat and drawing your tailbone down. If you don't want to, just relax into this pose. It really is your choice. We're going to roll back through into an up dog, so rounding out slowly through your spine, tucking your head in. When your shoulders, oh, it started to rain, that's a bad sign. When your shoulders come over your hands, you're going to let the hips drop down, shoulders fall away from your ears, and slowly lower your rib cage down onto the mat. Hands and ribs. Lifting through ribs, 12 to 6. Again, these are the lower ribs. Making room for your diaphragm to move. There's physiological reasons why this is very good for your body. And here, bring your left hand in front of you, parallel with the front of your mat. And then your left foot comes up towards the ceiling. Right hand sweeps all the way up overhead. If you can, you're going to grab hold of your left foot and draw it close towards your bum. And looking for a stretch over your left hip. Press into your front arm, lift through your left shoulder, opening the right shoulder. Releasing your left foot, bring your right hand all the way back down onto your mat. We're going to push back into child's pose. Hips gently lift off the mat, slowly tucking your tailbone under. Taking 5 deep breaths in child's pose. Pressing into your hands, untucking your toes. We're going to press into downward facing dog, slowly lifting your hips all the way up. Drawing your heels backwards. Bring your hips all the way up into the air. Come onto your big toes. Put a bend in your knee. Creating a straight line between your fingers, your shoulders and your hips. And now draw your shoulders wide of your spine. And if you are ready, you're going to try and let your heels drop all the way down towards the mat. Keep lifting with your tailbone up towards the ceiling. Pressing into your hands. Sweeping your hands all the way up overhead. If you are like me, you might want to do an adjustment so that your hips face forwards. You stepped way too wide for my legs. So I'm drawing my hips so that they are facing forwards. My arms are sweeping all the way up overhead. My knee is over my ankle at the front. And I'm drawing my inside arches up towards my knees. up into warrior three. Not sure that was going to work with the ground underneath, a little bit underneath. From here, you're going to pivot forwards, bring that left leg all the way with you, and then bring that left leg into a bent position, toes pointing down. If you can, you're going to rotate your left hip, draw your left foot and cross it over your right thigh. Here, you're going to take a seated pose. Okay, try to draw your hips backwards and have a good feel into your feet. You get a beautiful stretch over your left hip. Sweeping your arms all the way up overhead. Left foot comes down, standing all the way up, and then exhaling, hinging at your hips. Hands come down towards your mat. Placing your hands onto your mat, stepping or jumping backwards into a high plank position. If you want to, you can draw your knees down onto your mat and then bend your elbows, bring your chest onto the mat. Or you can come into a full chaturanga where your elbows are drawing backwards in towards your rib cage as you roll over your toes, you're coming into an up dog. And then you're exhaling into downward facing dog. Taking a moment to steady yourself. Great opportunity to stretch out anything in your body. And I like to think of a bit of a domino procession of my spine from my head all the way to my tailbone. And so as I start lifting with my hips up towards the sky, I think about creating loads of space and room between every single vertebrae. Nice. That's only two. Here, left foot is going to step forward between your hands. Make sure that they don't take too big a space. Right heel drops down. Too well for me. So right heel drops down. From here, lifting your arms all the way up towards the ceiling. You might want to take a little adjustment of your hips so you can draw your right hip forwards, left hip backwards into warrior one. Drawing up with your hands towards the ceiling. Feel that space you've created in your rib cage. Hands come into a prayer pose. You're going to transfer your weight onto your left foot. Right leg then lifts off the ground into warrior three. From here, you're going to bend your left knee, bring your right knee all the way forwards. Toes point down towards the ground, hands are still in a prayer. Rotate your foot so that your right foot is pointing to the side and cross your right leg over your left leg. Come into a seated position. Pull your hips backwards. Have a focus point. Inhaling, sweeping your arms all the way up overhead, standing back up again, releasing your right foot. And we're going to vinyasa it out. Exhale, hinging at your hips, arms coming down towards your mat, head comes down towards the ground. Inhale, lifting up, straight spine, the hardest position there is. If you think you have a straight back, it's very nice if you don't. From here, lift up with your chest, with your shoulders. Sink the hips backwards. You should feel a bit of tension in your hamstrings. Exhale, hands come down onto your mat. You can step or jump backwards into chaturanga, whatever your preference is. I'm going to jump into chaturanga and inhaling into up dog. Exhaling, rolling over your toes, lifting the hips up towards the ceiling. Taking 5 deep breaths into downward facing dog. towards the front of the mat, bending your knees, stepping or jumping your feet forwards, coming into a seated position. From here, you're going to roll all the way down onto the ground. We've got a few more poses before we go into a Shavasana. So, drawing your head all the way backwards towards the top, well, the bottom of the mat up really. And from here, we're going to come into a bridge pose. So, hands are flat on your mat. Press down with your big toe. Press down with your little toe, but let all the other toes be nice and flat, no tension in them. And then draw up with the inside of your ankle, all the way up towards the inside of your knee. On your next exhale, slowly draw your hips up towards the ceiling. Let your shoulders press down into your mat. Come to a good halfway house between lying on the floor and full extension over the front of the hip. We want some halfway. We don't want to be fully pushing into the hip at this point. And then exhaling, letting the hips come all the way back down again. You may find that is all your body allows you to do at this point. If you want to go a little bit further, we're going to draw your hips all the way up. We are going to come into a little bit more extension or stretch over the front of your hip. Draw your hands together and clasp them underneath your tailbone and roll your shoulders in. From here, you can draw your shoulders together and you're almost arching your back by squeezing your bum and doing a lift with the front of the hip up towards the ceiling. If you want to, you can come onto your big toes. If you want to go a little bit further and a little bit deeper, draw your feet towards you and then come onto the big toes. Open out your chest a little bit further, but respect your body. Work with what you've got. And then slowly working your way out to the in, taking a small step backwards with your feet. Draw your heels down, planting your heels. From here, you're slowly lowering the hips all the way down onto your mat. You're releasing your shoulders, releasing your hands. And because we did a back bend, we're going to go into spinal flexion. From here, you can bring your right knee into your chest and give it a lovely hug. And have a feel for the space in between your spine and the back of your hip. Releasing your right leg, letting that foot come all the way down to the ground. The right knee is still bent. We're going to inhale, draw your left knee in towards your chest. Wrap your hands around your shin, I should say. Feeling a nice stretch into the base of the back of the spine. Just about where your tailbone is, just above there, there's a little bit of stretching going on. If you don't feel it, don't worry about it. releasing your left leg. Bring your right leg and cross your right leg over the top of your left leg. If you can pop your right foot into the back of your left knee. Take your hands out to either side, palms facing up, and then let your knees roll over to the left-hand side of your body. Your lower body is then twisted at 90 degrees to your upper body. Take 5 breaths in this one. Inhaling, drawing your knees all the way up towards the sky, uncrossing your legs, recrossing your leg, left leg comes over the top of your right leg, and then you're lifting your right leg up to place your left foot in the back of the thigh or the back of the knee. From here, let your legs fall over to the right hand side of your body. Your lower body is twisted at 90 degrees. Inhaling, drawing your knees all the way back up towards the sky. Both knees come into your chest. You're going to bring those knees in towards you as much as you can by wrapping your hands around your shins. And rocking gently from one side to the other. Lowering your legs down very gently. Take it to Shavasana. There are lots of different ways that people like doing Shavasana. Ultimately, this is all about you and what makes your body feel comfortable. You can, if you want to, bend your knees, bring your feet nice and wide, and rest your knees against one another. You may find that you need to create space the other way, so bringing your feet together and letting your hips fall open. Or you may want to have your legs fully extended, letting your feet go any tension out of the back of the legs or the front of the hips. And I'll encourage you to have your hands facing upwards, but I do appreciate that feels quite awkward for some people. So be in a position that you can spend 5 minutes not thinking about anything and letting your body drift. Let go of any tension you have in your body. Let go of your breathing. Let your body be nice and heavy. into your side.
And gently coming back into a seated position or a position that's comfortable for you. Put your hands into a prayer pose. Draw the heels of your hands down. Get a beautiful stretch over the front of the wrist. Rotate your hands. Bring your hands to point downwards. Bring your wrists up towards your chest. Stretch the other way round. Bring your hands back up. Bowing your head. Saying namaste. Thank you very much for joining me for yoga today. I hope you enjoyed it and